I would say Ben Allen's driven towards his goals. I would say they'd say Ben Allen's disciplined. I think that they would say that Ben Allen is caring, puts people ahead of him. I think they would say that Ben Allen is a very close friend of theirs they could go to for help, if they ever need anything. You can call Ben. That's what I hope they're saying.
Yeah.
I want to be the guy that something's going wrong, something happened in their life, something went wrong. I can call Ben. He's willing to talk. He's willing to come over. He's willing to be there for me.
Yeah. So a committed friend.
A committed friend.
Investing in others.
A committed friend that will be there for you.
Yeah.
No matter what. And that's what I hope they would say. I think that's what they would say too.
Yeah. So somebody that's available. Somebody that would sacrifice to be available.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, if that's the friend side, how would what would they say if that new person walking into the group was like, so he's driven and he loves working hard and all. What does he do with that? Where does that, like, what's the vehicles that your friends would say, well, this is an example?
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest. I don't do a lot of stuff. I don't do a lot of stuff. I really just...
You're a simple guy.
I'm a simple guy. I wake up and I'm just like, what can I do to get closer to my goals?
Yeah.
And really, it's not a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really just...
You're focused.
I'm focused on... I'm just tunnel vision. I'm not really... Like, if there's distraction, I'm just like, I'm good, man. I don't need to go party tonight. I don't need to go, do this. I think it's great to have friends. I think it's good to go watch fireworks 4th of July with your friends. I think it's great to have that. But if it's interfering with your goals, I think that they would say that Ben Allen would rather put forth almost a little bit selfish, I would say, towards himself and his goals than putting that, than going out doing stuff with them. And I know I said that he can put people before him in situations, I think.
Yeah.
But I would say that I'm a little bit selfish in a way where it comes to I'm going to just do whatever I can to bring myself peace and happiness.
Yeah.
Get myself to my
Well, it sounds like a good blend, right? Like you're focused on Ben Allen, what fulfills you,
yeah.
but you would also drop things to go be there for others, right? So that doesn't sound selfish to me.
Yeah.
So tell me about a couple of those goals.
I would say I actually got a list.
Or tell me even just what you're already doing, something that you're doing now that has been a goal you've been working on for a long time versus looking out. What's present?
Right now, a big time goal is to win a state championship in basketball for my team, for my school. I'm lucky to have a great class, a great athletic class, and I'm lucky to have great support in that class with students and parents. And it's almost a disrespect to them if I'm not working, if they show me and the team all that support, all those parents, all those students, all those people that believe in us. Why am I not putting forth as much effort as I can to bring home something that they're also supporting? Bring home a state championship. They want that, and they're supporting us along the way. So why would I not go 100% towards that? And I think playing college basketball is another goal of mine. I think those will come. Offers will come and go, and sometimes colleges don't want you, and that is what it is. But at the end of the day, if I get 0 college offers, and I tell myself I put forth 100%, trying to play at the next level, and that didn't happen, then I can be happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
Would you say that's your number one Ben Allen focus
Yeah.
from a goal standpoint?
That and just finding peace in myself.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of anger in my life, but finding peace, which has come back this last year. It's gotten a lot. That goal's almost accomplished, but I'm getting there.
Yeah. You're growing.
Lots of goals
Yeah.
going towards
Yeah.
to completing at once.
What about adults? Now take the 30 adults that know you best and say they're out in the backyard, your name pops up. What are they saying about who Ben Allen is? Is it the same things, do you think? Or do you think there's something different that kids would miss?
I think they would say relatively the same stuff. I would hope they say that he's respectful. He's honest. Yeah, that was a big thing I didn't say about the kids, is that, like, he's an honest guy. Like, I'll give you an example. Like if my sister came into my room and was like, does this dress look good on me? And if it looks like ass, I'm going to say, that does not look good on you.
Yeah.
And so when she comes in at the end of the day and says, Ben, did I play a good game? And I say, yeah, you played a great game. She knows I'm being honest, and I hope she knows that I actually care.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm honest. And I hope that my friends and my parents that I know, that know me, know that when I tell them I'm going to give them 100%, that I'm honest about it. Or, I've been kind of slacking lately, I'm honest about it. And I just hope, that I'm honest, respectful. I hope they say that I'm a leader on and off the court, a role model. And I'm hoping they see me for what I am, which I think they do.
Yeah. Authenticity.
Yeah.
So, what would you add to the story? What would you want to speak up for yourself if you're like, you know what, I hear your stories about me, but here's something that you're not seeing that's really important to me that I want you to know. Maybe it's just important right now, and so they haven't seen it develop, or maybe it's been something that you've done for a while and they're just not seeing it yet, and you even kind of know it. But what is there anything like that you can think of?
It's hard to show how far you've come mentally in life. People don't understand. You might have a really close friend that knows a lot about your personal life and all the stuff you do, but it's a lot of people that are just your peers, people but aren't really close to.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on up here. They don't know what has gone on up here, what's gone on in your life, and I think that I have grown, and same with my family, and other people too, they have grown mentally to another level that I think a lot of people aren't at.
Yeah.
And you can't really see that as a peer, as a person watching, as a person that's a friend of Ben Allen, but doesn't know what's going on inside his head.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what's going on, during his personal life, stuff that's going on in the house. Because they're not there 24/7. They got their own lives. They got their own lives they're worried about, and growing up and all that stuff. So, just mentally, I would say it's a whole nother level that people don't know about. And that's fine. That's fine. And I don't really share that, because at the end of the day, people are worried about their own stuff.
Yeah.
Especially people our age, they're worried about growing up, doing their own thing, having a job, having a girlfriend, doing whatever, getting sports, going to their goals too. At the end of the day, they're just trying to, I hope that they're just trying to accomplish their stuff to make them at inner peace and have them be happy in life. So,
are there people that you can think of where it would feel good to have them know more about that space, whether it's adults or friends, or just feel good to have that level of connection? Is that something that you'd like to grow?
Yeah, I think there might be a couple friends that would maybe like to hear what's going on and stuff, but my inner family, my house family, my brother especially, he's gone through way more, he has way more stuff that's going on than I do mentally, and we just talk it over with each other in our household. You know, we live together, where we have to, and I think that's honestly enough for me to express myself. I've been to therapy, I've been to, counseling, I've done all that stuff, and it's not the same as talking to someone that's also gone through the same stuff. That's all. Just talking to someone that's also gone through the stuff that you've gone through, and just connecting with them and sharing your mental stability and your mental habits in your mind is different from talking to someone that hasn't gone through that. And there's friends that have gone through. I have friends that have gone through all kinds of stuff. There's adults that I know that have gone through all kinds of stuff, that has gone through addiction, drugs, all that stuff, that they're overcoming it. And like you said, I think you said that would you want someone to know, kind of what's going on in your head. I hope that I'm someone that people could be like, hey, this is what's going on in my head. This is what's going on. This is what I need help with. This is what I'm dealing with. So that's another goal too. I don't know if I'm there yet. I hope, I don't know what's going on in someone else's head. I hope that they're like, I can go to Ben Allen for help mentally.
What do you think's kept you at times from going deeper into Ben Allen with others, whether it's your home team or whether it's a friend or another adult outside the home? What do you feel like in your story has kept you on the other side of exposure there?
I think that I just haven't needed it yet. There hasn't been something where it's like, all the guys that I hang out with are cool with. We're cool. They're great guys. And it's not like, if I told them what's going on, they would, not be like, nah, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to do that stuff. I'll just mind my own business over here. I don't think they would do that. I just don't think it's come to that point where I needed to. Which I'm glad. Because like I said, they're doing their own stuff. They don't need to pile on all my stuff on top of that. So I just don't think it's come to that point where I needed to do that. But it might someday. It probably will someday. And there's a lot of friends that I have that I think I could go to talk about that stuff.
That's great. What amount of all the battles that we all fight in our own mental health? There's an amount of that we fight alone, and there's an amount of that we fight with. We discover, we observe, we reflect, with others. What amount is going on in your life compared to what you expose or discuss? Is it like I don't know if you do if you do a ballpark percentage of man, I feel like I'm doing 80% of it on my own, and that's good right now, and 20% is with somebody. What would that look like for you?
Honestly, I think I've dealt with the stuff that I've gone through 90% by myself. Now, you look someone at, I don't know if you've met my brother.
I have.
Might have, you have?
Yep.
He's has to rely on, he's probably the complete opposite. He's probably 10%, deal with by himself. He works well with expressing his grief to someone else. And not just pushing it down, just not even like talking about, or not even thinking about it, which is not good. But expressing it in either by yourself or with someone. And I think that I'm with probably 90%. I mean, I feel like that I can express it by myself, and I'm not saying that I'm just fully by myself. I think occasionally I do need someone to talk about stuff that's gone through, whether that's just like a bad game, or it's just something's bugging me, or something terrible happened, or whatever. But I think that throughout my life I've realized that I'm able just to deal with stuff usually by myself, and I've learned that different people in my family are all different percentages of that.
Yeah. So, do you think you're as much of a friend to yourself as you are to others? Like when you think about wanting to be there, the drop of a hat, to sacrifice, to make time, do you think you give that to yourself?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm always there for myself, because it's hard to help others when you're hurting inside yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard to help someone with their problems or whatever they're doing, or whatever they're helping with, when you can't even deal with them yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that I internally help myself a lot. Give myself a friend.
Yeah.
Inner.
Yeah. I think there's many people that are handling it like your brother. They're very expressive. They're verbal processors. It's out there before they even can put structure around it. It's just out there, maybe. And then there are people that are like you, that are more internal processors, internal nurturers.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that a little bit, because I'm curious to know what you have found works for you within that framework. So we know you're a focus guy. We know that you like to simplify. We know that you've had, just stress, battles, whatever you want to call them, and that you've dealt with them mostly on your own. So give some, like for Ben Allen, this is how that works. Here's kind of a process that I do, or here is here are just kind of tools that I use. How do you do that? And I'm sure a lot of it you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Right? We just do it. And we're not trying to, it can be unconscious, it can be conscious, but just in the flow of whatever's going on that moment. But if you were to zoom out a little bit and just look back on, here's what I know has worked for me to be internally taking care of my mental health. What are some best practices of Ben Allen?
I would think that there's a couple of things. Number one, find something that you can do. It is by yourself. Find something you can do to express if you have anger, if you have sadness, if you're scared, nervous. Go to the weight room. Go take your anger out on some weights. Go to a punching bag. Go somewhere that's peaceful to you. Find little spots in your brain where it's like you think that might help. Try it out. And you also need to find, another thing is you need to find confidence in yourself. You need to figure out, okay, this is what's bugging me. This is clearly something that's happened in my life that needs to be fixed. that is clearly changing me for the worse, or, that's affecting my life for other people, affecting me, which is affecting other people, which is even worse. And you just need to find what's wrong with that and just try and fix it. And that might be slow. That might be a slow fix. You might have to take little steps to, building back that pain you feel. And sometimes you might, sometimes you might want revenge, or you might think that, why am I even here right now? But you got to think about, you got to have a positive outlook on life. You got to look at things where, yeah, this shitty thing happened in life, but you know what? I bet you someone out there has lost all their parents to war, has to live by themselves. Some kid out there, and it's like, you know what? You get to go work out and express your anger on waves. You get to go out there and go to a peaceful lookout, look at the sunset, calm down. You get to meditate. You get to do that stuff. You get to. People are like, oh, I have to figure out this stupid, this guy took my job, this guy beat me to the job, and now I have to go figure out another job. It's like, man, you just the quality of life is just, you think you have it so bad when you really don't. And that's all in here. That's all in here.
Yeah.
All in there.
So I heard a lot of find a way to get perspective. Find a way to look around you and just see that there are a lot of hard circumstances in this world, and maybe you can see that yours is you still have more resource or more opportunity than many people did that found a way.
Yep.
So there's a perspective thing, or just an empathy thing too. Like maybe it's the perspective to think about other situations, other people, just to feel your heart for them in their dire situation. So that perspective thing has been a part of your journey.
Yes.
And I also heard, maybe I heard this word when you were saying, like, think about what you can do, think about what you get to do, think about what you have. So would you call that almost like just like a practice of gratitude?
Gratefulness.
Yeah.
What my high school varsity coach says, my AAU coach when I was in freshman year, he said, entitled to nothing, grateful for everything. You should be grateful that you're even here.
Yeah.
You should be even grateful that you get to feel these things.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't get the chance to do that. So you should be grateful for everything. You think you're entitled to have an easy, smooth life. You think you're entitled to even be born, even be on this earth. You should be grateful for every second you're here, no matter what happens. And I think having a stable friendship and a stable community around you, with friends, parents of all ages, is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And even if you're like me that deals with stuff, you might deal with stuff by yourself, in your alone time. And you just having people around you that support you and that believe in you, that you can go to if you want to, is a huge thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing that I have. I think it's a lot of things that my friends has. So, and that's another thing I'm grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah, and for your brother, we are all doing the same thing, and we will all continue to do it for life. There is no straight line of life. Whether we're working on something really challenging or really great, we are all bumping around. right? What we're bumping around to. That might be different. How much we bump around, how long we bump around. But we're bump around creatures. Like, we're trying to figure it out, and whatever it is. And sometimes that takes root. We stop bumping around and we find some soil and we plant the seed and we anchor in.
Yeah.
And he's probably anchoring in on some things and bumping around on some things. And I think that we just all have that. And maybe even knowing like, okay, if I'm bumping around on different places that I don't like, how do I just make sure that I don't bump around further, right?
Exactly.
Like, how can I do this zigzag and have grace for myself and have peace with the bumping around, and just know I just don't want to go. I don't want to go outside of those bumpers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I know I can do this over here and it's not as healthy as I want it to be, or it's not as pretty as I want it to be, but I still feel like I'm safe, right? It's those places that you get to when feels very unsafe, and where you feel just extreme danger, and that becomes the thing that overwhelms a spirit to the point of I'm not bumping around anymore. I'm just in a very, very dark place, right? And so even giving yourself some permissions to bump around. I'm sure that whether people do it with working out, I know sometimes on Fridays it's a really hard day for me to be focused on a Friday. And so I just tell myself, just go bump around. Like, you don't even know what you're going to do. Just get to the gym. If you go in there and stretch and leave, fine. If you go in there and end up doing one exercise and leave, fine. Like, just try and just change what success looks like. And so I can relate to both of you. Like, I can relate to things I'm really bumping around in. I can relate to things where I'm really anchored deep and I'm focused. I think you even said at the beginning, as you started talking, made me think of, like, is it like, because you're a simple guy and a focused guy, you were talking about find the problem, figure out what I need to do to fix it, and then go do that thing. Like, it sounds like a math problem a little bit to like you're simplifying, you're trying to make the simplest math problem. Like, there's something hard over here, or something dangerous or risky or whatever you want to call it over here. I don't like it. Something I don't like.
And sometimes people don't like realize that it's bad.
Yeah.
Like, and I think I've been blessed where I realize that I know when I'm going too far. I probably realize when I'm even like hitting like a bumper, really. Like, I don't even go past the bumpers at all.
Yeah.
Like, it's a gift that I'm blessed to have.
Yeah.
But it's first realizing what the problem is.
Yeah.
And then finding the easiest way to solve it. And sometimes the easiest way is really hard.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
Yeah. Well, I've struggled with drugs and alcohol in my past, and probably around that age, and I don't know that people telling me it was bad did change anything, or I think I paid attention at some level, but at some level I decided it was okay, right? But I didn't have I wasn't experiencing the cost. I think if somebody would have helped me see my natural spirit and helped me see who I was, like the resources or things that I had that we're being compromised. So as you said, like I wake up and I realize real quickly, I have this goal, I have these goals, right? And I have these things that I get to do, and I'm excited about that, right? You're excited about that. Yeah. It drives you. But you see, you have a vision, and you have the perspective on what you have to achieve that vision. And so therefore, when you're bumping around, you can see how that might compromise those things that you value at a super high level. I know I didn't have that. I didn't see a goal or a vision that I would say, this is something that is always running through me, that is clear and is important, and I feel it. I don't even care whatever anybody else feels. I feel it. And so therefore, when I'm making these decisions over here, I can see how that's pulling that down, how it's turning the light out. And I didn't have that, so all I had was just my experience with whatever I was doing, what felt good that day, what felt peaceful that day, what felt
good. That's just discipline.
And so I wonder what his vision is for himself, and I, maybe one day I'll talk to him about that, but just like,
you gotta get my brother on the show.
Just talking to him about what he sees now, even what he sees if he's when he's smoking weed and when he's not smoking weed. Like, I don't care. Just what do you see that you're excited about out there, and then is this helpful to that, and who are you now that makes you think that this is so true? Because when you can match those things, you can say, this isn't just some made up thing I saw on social media that looks cool, but we've all lived for decades, right? We've lived for decades. We have like an origin story. We have identity. We have values. We have dreams. We have talents. We have personalities. We have all these things. Thousands of days of these things. But sometimes making music out of all that noise, it just needs a friend or some people to say, can I just offer what I see here, and does that relate to you, and what do you see here, and can we do some harmony together? Let's harmonize together and see if we produce some really cool song that is about your story that anchors you, right? There's just there's so much opportunity, I think, in just helping people see who they are, and not who they aspire to be, who they are, and then what that is, the value that it is, and then they get to choose. They get to choose whether that's value to them. And if it's not, then it's the math problem. Well, if this isn't value to me, then it's okay to kill it, right? If you want that light to go out, okay. But what are the lights that you want to keep on, right?
If the value is not benefiting you in a good way, why keep it?
Yeah.
And like you said, like what are your values? Like what do you see, like see yourself, like what do you want to do? Do you have goals? Like who are you as a person? What do you like to do?
Yeah.
There's kids that struggle with stuff that he struggled through, and I've struggled through, that just don't know what to do. And I don't think he realizes that a lot of kids don't know what they're doing at that age.
Yeah.
He thinks that he's just like the only one that just doesn't know what he wants to do, doesn't know what he finds fun or anything. It's like every kid doesn't know what he's going to do. It's rare to have a kid that's I want to do this when I'm 6 years old, and I still want to do that when I'm a senior, and I'm ready to go off to college and study that, or not go to college.
Yeah.
And I just think that finding stuff that you enjoy and stuff that you like to do brings you happiness, and that's what brings you peace, and that's just the ultimate goal.
Yeah. Well, we are all have been in places and will be in places where we can't see. We will all, I know I've experienced that, where you don't see the value in yourself. You're very lost. It's torture. But I know for me that one thing where I go, how did I make it? Like, how did I just make it to the next bridge of life? I just knew that my dad cared. That's probably what I knew to be true. That I didn't want to turn the lights out on. And that felt like not much at that time. And I'm sure my dad was really stressed and worried and scared. But it was protection during my time on that journey to just get me to that next thing that nobody knows what it's going to be for your brother or for you or for me. Anybody in that spot. So it's just it's a beautiful thing that I was an only child with my dad. And so I know that your brother loves and values 3 times that at home, right? With mom, sister, and brother. And the power of that is more powerful than anything that he's going to find in the next girlfriend or job or drug or whatever. That's always going to be a power. So everything that you're doing, I think, is of just showing care, friendship, ears, hugs, tears, all of that. That's the glue. That's the glue. There's safety in that. And his soul knows that.
Yeah.
And he's probably said that.
Yeah, he said that multiple times.
So that, for you guys to have peace in that, where you go, we're with you, man. Like, we're with you in the roller coaster. We're just with you. Whatever that looks like, we're with you. And physically, mentally, relationally, monetarily, whatever it is, and that'll change from time to time because you'll play with the recipe, right?
Yeah.
But he will know, as long as he knows that you are with him at the deepest possible level that a family can be with each other, right? Doesn't mean you won't fight, doesn't mean you won't slam doors, doesn't mean you won't stop talking for a period of time or tell him something you wish you didn't say. But there's extreme power there, and in that's enough soil for a life to find its place that it wants to plant. We don't know how long it is. We don't know what that bridge to the next thing looks like. He doesn't see it right now, and that's okay that he doesn't see it right now. Maybe he just needs some more drugs, and I'm not talking about chemical drugs. I'm talking about drugs that are just like, what's a drug today that I can do? Something that makes me feel good, that's not a chemical, right? What can I just do? What can I know? What am I going to add to my mix of just, I want to feel good today. I want to regulate today. So maybe he's doing that already. He's talking to you, right? That's a part of his medicine cabinet, right? His bed, when he goes and gets rest, that's part of his medicine cabinet, right? His I'm sure he, maybe if he's like any other teen or my teens, playing, games with other people, there's something there. But what else can he just go, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to do a new drug. I think I'd like to go ride my bike on the trail. I'm not saying I'm going to be a biker. Yeah. I'm not even saying I have a bike, but I'm going to grab that bike and go. What can I do for my body? Like just physically, what feels good? I might go play pickleball, right? I'm just going to I'm going to expand my medicine cabinet. It has nothing to do with future. It has nothing to do with income. It has nothing to, because that's just overwhelming, right? It's just like, oh man, I can't even see tomorrow.
That's a lot of stuff you don't want to deal with right now.
I can't see tomorrow. I'm not going there, but I can just go, yeah, I can be creative enough still to say, let's go jump off that cliff at the lake together, or I talked to some other guys that do, like, you might be a part of it, but adrenaline runs, where on Friday nights, they could go do drugs and alcohol, marijuana and drink beer and all that, and there's nights where they're just like, let's go do a different kind of adrenaline run, right? Let's go sneak into the pool, the city pool, and go swimming. And let's go, I don't know, when we're little, we're ding-dong ditching and TPing houses, right? It's just it's just something that gets whatever it is, dopamine, whatever, but it's just mixing up the medicine cabinet. I'm not getting this out of from a I'm not stopping by and grabbing beer and alcohol and marijuana right now. Today I'm not using those, and I'm going and doing some other things.
Yeah.
Right? And it just like, I'm just expanding my cabinet today. Because I think that in those things, you end up treating yourself with a variety of approaches. And he's already doing that. He's probably listening to music, right?
Yeah.
And so let's talk more about you a little bit. So how do you, when you hear your story of like what friends say, what adults say, what Ben says, can you see the origin story of that? Like where that came from? Why am I the way I am? I'm this driven achiever, simple guy, focused guy, would be there on the drop of a hat for a friend. I'd sacrifice for him, but I've got extreme drive and achievement. I've got extreme dedication to someone in need of a friend, my brother, my family. I've got a drive and a care for my mental health. As you look back through the years, the 17 years, what would you say is like a reflection on some key moments that have shaped who you are? Like where you go, yeah, this is who I am today, and I can kind of point back to like, here was a key moment that helped make this Ben Allen, right?
Yeah.
We all have DNA. There's this very natural part of who we are. And then there's this evolution that happens through key moments of life that then you go, yep, that's why I am this way today. Can you pull out a couple of those that can you see that? Can you see what's shaping you from the past?
Well, I think, like you said, I think part of it I'm just kind of wired a little bit that way, naturally. But I think when you go through, tough times, and there's levels of tough times, levels of grieving. When you go through hard times, for me, it affected the way I look at life completely. I realized how precious life really is. And so when you realize how precious it actually is, why would you not work as hard as you can to get what you want? to find peace, to find happiness. Like, why wouldn't you? There's no reason not to. Why would you not be, the nicest guy to your friend? Why would you not be there for your friend?
Yeah.
It's just, you only get one life. I mean, there's just, when you go through, a grieving moment, you realize that, like, you kind of realize how good the good times are, and how good life is and can be. But you aren't just, it's very rare, at least for me. I wasn't just like, I was born into a pretty good life. I'm lucky. I like to think. And like I was saying, like, that I get to be here. I get to do things. I get to go chase my goals. The fact that I even have the opportunity to be alive, to breathe air, to wake up in the morning is a privilege that I think a lot of people take for granted.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's no excuses. Like, you can't give yourself an excuse, to not reach for your goals.
Yeah.
To not go for your goals. There's just nothing. It simply is just, you lack discipline. You just lack discipline, and you must not care enough.
Yeah.
And
so before those precious moments, or before those kind of key moments in your life, would you say you weren't as driven, you weren't as good of a friend?
Yeah.
So that was a catalyst for sure, going through that.
I would say that I wasn't as aware of how privileged I am to be here.
Yeah.
And making it through, a very hard thing. Like, you kind of switches, kind of like turn something in your brain. You kind of become a little bit crazy, to where you're just like, kind of just really just like mentally just kind of a little bit insane. Where you're just like, I'm going to give 100%. Like, I would rather die. I would rather die than not give myself 100% to my goals. Honestly. Because at the end of the day, when I'm on that deathbed and my goals didn't happen or did happen, doesn't matter, I can tell myself I gave myself 100%.
So what's the threat in that? What's the threat in, what part of Ben Allen is not present now? That was a really good thing, that you became so focused and so driven to the place of, like, I would rather die than not give everything I can to this. What part is missing from that pre-trauma time that you're like, gosh, I want a little bit of that back too. I want to kind of call it balance or whatever. Like, there's something back there that I don't want to forget, or I don't want to not pay attention to, because it was just good for you, just something precious to you, and you don't want to miss it, or something that you're like, gosh, if I drive like this, here are some costs that will happen that I could see being too big.
I think that there is that one thing that I wish before pre-trauma that I had, now that I'm working on, is just peace within myself. There has been days, not recently, but there's been days where during those hard grieving times where I just didn't want to be alive anymore. And that was before I realized that the gift of life is so great. And I think that some of the stuff, when you're so hard driven like I am, that it can affect, like, for instance, if you're, at a job and you're just working a 9 to 5 or whatever. Let's just say your dreams, you're trying to make enough money to buy a sports car or whatever, and you're working your 9 to 5 all the way for 10 years and you get that sports car. I think during those 10 years, during, this high school, college, all up to my 30s, especially in your 20s, is you just got to live a little.
Yeah.
You got to go on adrenaline runs, You got to, go hang out with friends.
Yeah. Experience a new hobby.
Experience a new hobby. Live life a little bit, because that's what it's for.
Yeah.
It's not all about, just work, and then you get to the goal, and then you're just dead in 10 years.
Yeah. Are you seeing yourself passing some of those things up?
A couple of times, I would say I am.
Yeah.
I am naturally an introvert, I would say. So, if I decide not to go to a party, I don't really care.
Yeah.
But if it's there's stuff where I'm where it's something that's really fun, there's been times where I'm just nah, I gotta look at these goals, and I gotta go toward them.
Yeah.
And I think I'm getting better at that too, and I think that I'm finding more peace in myself as well.
Yeah.
And it takes time.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is for me. That's just how I'm wired. And sometimes people, it takes longer than it might take their whole life to finally come over what, if they have grievance in their life or something's going on, or sometimes it might take a day.
Yeah.
You never know. Everyone's different. So I think that just finding peace within myself and just living a little.
Yeah.
While also being driven every day towards my goals.
How do I do both?
Mix.
Yeah, and it's you seem to find your drug pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
We're all addicts.
Yeah.
All of us. We are all addicted to something and out of balance with something. You found yours in basketball. It sounds like you found yours in goal achievement with basketball, working out, and you kind of are self-admitting that, hey, I might not have had this piece to where I wanted it. I just found this formula, and I liked it, and so I went, and it maybe even just distracts to some degree from dealing with some stuff that you just don't even know is there. Stuff that you know is there, stuff you don't know is there, but you're this is good, and when I feel stressed, I'm going to it, and when I don't feel stressed, I'm going to it, and this is the line I'm on. And your brother is still at step one. He's just trying to find peace in today. Not peace in the formula that's tied to some goal that's bigger than this day or tomorrow or this month. He's just trying to find that peace for today. So talking about that peace part, for somebody that's I know I need to work on the peace part, that usually means that there's a place that they know they don't have peace. Right? Or at least it means that they know that they need to think about it, that they have something stirring that's not peace. So can you talk a little bit about that? What do you want to find peace in? What do you want to maybe you have a little bit of peace, but you're man, I want some more here. Yeah. Or maybe you just can't feel it at all. Or that it's just an area that you're I really need to spend some time thinking about this one pocket of life, because I don't even know how much peace I really have there. I'm not even connecting to it as much as I should. What would those places be for you?
Well, I truly think the ultimate goal is having peace in everything you do in life, whether that's starting a family, having a job, doing whatever.
Yeah.
And if there's pockets, like you said, that where you don't have peace, like I said, figure it out, what's happening, what's going on that's not causing you peace. How could you then how could you fix it? Or maybe it's just like there's like nothing really going on. You're just not really into it, or you're just like, how can you gain peace in that? How can you increase the likelihood of you enjoying that more and being more like happy while doing it.
Yeah.
And if there's a pocket where some people haven't had any grief in their life at all, and that's great, but I think that dealing with that grief can make you way like stronger and make you realize that a lot of the things that you might think that doesn't have peace, that you think that's that doesn't make you happy, it kind of puts you in a different mindset of where like, yeah, this is like, I'm glad I'm doing this. Like, I'm glad I do that. I'm glad I'm doing that. Glad I did that. So I think some of the stuff that people do that think that it's not, that's not bringing them joy or happiness, maybe it really is. Maybe a lot of people like would think that is amazing. Maybe that thing that you're doing, maybe that, maybe that thing you're like maybe working out and you hate it and you think this just sucks, but then you realize that it's like, this is actually great that I'm doing this. This is, what if you're, there's a lot of things I see on the internet where it's like these really obese people, and they'll go to the gym for the first time. I hate this shit. It's the worst thing ever. I'm never going back. And then they'll realize that it's just going there brings them peace. That they don't even know it. And just doing that and the fact they know they're getting better, and once they get to that goal, they will have peace. And peace is different for different people. Peace for one guy might just be just like being able to walk his dog every day. Having that little time of peace is just all he needs. Or maybe it's someone who's like, I want to be the president of the United States, and I won't stop until that happens. And once I get that, I'll be satisfied. I will be at rest. I'll be at peace, or whatever. So I think having like little pockets, you just gotta figure out why is that not causing you peace? Is it really not causing you peace, or you just think it's not? Try and twist your angle on life. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And then fix it.
Yeah.
To create it for whatever you want.
Yeah.
So
what is that for you? What is the, if you started with the beginning of that equation, what's something in there that you would say, yeah, I want more peace here?
I would say I would want more peace at my household. That's where I live.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of stress in the different rooms in my house. The way my brother acts, my sister, mother, that even like my dogs, My dogs, I'm like the other day I actually fed my dog. I had Wingstop and actually let the bones out and he ate them. I couldn't sleep at all. The whole night I thought he was going to freaking die. Turns out he's fine, thank God. But the stuff that they do affects me more than it should have. Or that should, I think. And I think that I need to work on that a little bit more, where it's like, as long as I know that I'm giving, like I said, that I'm giving 100% effort and supporting them and being bumpers for them, being there for them, I need to realize within myself that I'm doing everything I can. And at the end of the day, that will bring me peace. Knowing that, yeah, they might still make terrible decisions, but, if I'm there doing everything I can to help them stop doing that, or, if they're feeling really stressed, if I'm there to be able to talk to them, that brings me peace. So I'm still trying to work on it.
And even watching out for what happens kind of because of that achievement part, that 100% part. What is that, right? What is that in that moment that takes you from a healthy place of offer to an unhealthy place of offer. Because if you're driving and achieving and working to be in every conversation and to offer guidance and to help manage and all of that, then at some level it starts to take away from peace.
Yeah.
Right? So you can have peace by offering, and you can lose peace by offering.
Offering too much.
Right? So it's like, what is that formula again for where you go, whether it's the moment that you're in, or whether it's something that's tied to time, or it's time to maybe results where you go, I know I look back and I see where I have brought more peace, and I'm going to practice being that, but outside of that, I'm not seeing that that's adding to the peace here, and so I'm going to go find my space, right? So it's so dynamic, right? Every day is different, every conversation is different, your system, your body does different things, and how do I be aware enough of knowing when I am helping that turns into hurting? For you or for others, right? When is that? And sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes, like, you know what? I'll go in here. I'll stay up late. I'm going here, but then maybe the night gets cut short on sleep, or you go to bed and you're stirring, and then you wake up and you have a headache, and the next day you have, worry, and and then you start the conversation again, and it's like, wow, I am beyond myself here, right? I am out of balance here. And so knowing what that, when you say, like, I'm going to give 100% here, right? How do you do that math problem? I don't think that it's something to just figure out, like, well, this is how it's going to go every day. I'm going to give 1 hour of time, and I'm going to talk about these two things, and then I'm out, right? That's pretty... that doesn't seem human. But how do I know here comes a conversation, here comes a disagreement, here comes some emotion, whatever. How to know how much help you can give, where you can feel peace saying, I did what I could to stay healthy for my family, for myself, for my family. Do you reflect on that much of, like, where that line is in a given moment, or where it is for tomorrow, what you have in the tank? Do you play with that at all, or is it just kind of like, man, I'm caught up in it, I'm a driver, I'm an achiever, and so let's go, pedal to the metal?
Yeah, I think you nailed it, where it was like knowing when I'm going, helping too much where it's affecting me.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part where I need to work on the most. Yeah. And I think it's just knowing what helps. So if I'm helping my brother, for instance, it's knowing what helps him.
Yeah.
What helps him and doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, if I'm up, with him all night, because he can't sleep because he's going through withdrawals, how much is that affecting me?
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem, like I said, like finding peace within that balance.
Yeah. So complicated.
Yeah, it can be hard. And it is hard.
Yeah. You can feel guilt if you cut out too early, if you left for 4 hours and said, I'm out of here, right? And then it swings back the other way. Okay, I'm in, Yeah,
that balance, I'm still working to balance the teeter-totter.
Yeah.
In other words, helping them as much as I can, with still, I'm not losing any sleep.
Yeah.
I'm not losing, any gains in the gym. I'm not, it's not affecting my social life. It's not affecting my grades. It's not steering me like past the bumpers.
Yeah.
To where I'm in the area where I can't turn back.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm in like this loop of, helping you, and it's also affecting me.
Yeah.
So I think that I do need to. That's the one thing I need to work on.
Yeah.
To help me find peace
Yeah.
within myself, and that's just throughout the whole house.
Yeah.
And
it's the same thing with anything. It's the same thing with your basketball team.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with your classes and teachers and friends, and it's the same thing, but there it's just there's more dynamic, there's more opportunity to be engaged, and it's more dynamic. You don't necessarily know, but maybe the looking back and just going, where have I been at play? What is like a consistent repeating theme here, where I can see myself going over to a side that's not healthy for Ben's energy system, for his intellectual capacity, for his emotional capacity. Like, I can just look back and go, yeah, at the 20-minute mark, it's just taxing, right? I lose myself, right? And so maybe it's a minute thing. Like, I know at 20 minutes, or I know after an hour, or I know, or maybe it's a topic that you're like, I just know that this topic seems to be a good thing, a growing thing when I'm in it, and this one doesn't. And so when that topic's happening, it's not that I don't care, it's just that I don't think that I'm bringing help. I don't think it's helping you. I don't think it's helping me. Hey, is that helping you? Can you think of a time when I helped you in that place? Because if you can't, like, maybe it's a good time to, like, change up the workout, right? Just like you would anything. If you're making food, putting ingredients in, and something was upset in your stomach, you're like, I wonder what it is. Is it this spice, or is it this, vegetable, whatever it is? And I gotta eliminate something that's just not working. But it doesn't mean I'm not eating food. Right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean I'm not trying to find a replacement. But the reflecting back after you've had like a lot of time in this place, you might be able to see some themes that help you figure out ingredients that work and don't work. And even just telling your family, hey, here's some ingredients where I feel like it's helpful. And so I really want to like try and be present there more. But these other three topics, like, I'm just not seeing that yet. So I'm aware, I'm available, but I'm gonna replace that spice.
I love that. Like replacing,
Sometimes when we look outside of the circumstance and we use an analogy, a recipe for something, whether it's plays that are running on a court, I'm sure your basketball coach is like, all right, we're not running that at all anymore. That like we ran it last year, but we're not going to run it this year. Or we're going to add a twist to it because this was something we kept running into that was a challenge, and so we add it. But in our relationships, sometimes we don't do that. So that might be something to think about.
No, that's definitely. I agree. I think, like I said, like finding what isn't working and trying to, eliminate that or kill that or switch it to something better that can, actually affect the conversation or your relationships or whatever in a better way. Like you said, like with the basketball plays, like if coaches, if there's a bad play and there's something there's like wrong with it, then he's either going to cut it out or he's going to switch it a little bit to make it work with trying to make it better. Try and make it a better, which means you're going to better from it.
Yeah.
Which is the overall goal. So, I love that analogy though, like cooking and that's great.
Good.
It's not always taking out the spice, taking out the ingredients. Yeah. It might just be switching it up a little bit.
Yeah. I'm just stopping for this week.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
It doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
Right? It might be perfectly healthy. It's just not tasting good anymore. We've had too much of it. We have had way too many hamburgers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're good.
I love that. I think that's, you're right. Very right.
Have you ever heard the term like manifesto?
No.
So manifesto might be like your mode, or like a declaration of how you live, the way you are, how you help, and you're kind of just writing it a little bit. Even right here, you're playing with it. And I mean, they can be super long. The goal is to simplify. You know, how could this like manifesto or my mode just be a one pager, right?
Yeah.
ChatGPT is super helpful because you can just throw in like all these words, and you can speak to it if you want, and just start saying like, this is how I live, and this is what drives me, and this is how, you know, you can start with those kind of three big things that you did at the beginning. This is what I desire, whether it's the achievement mode, the focus mode, the simple bin, the basketball, the friends, support, the peace and mental health. Like this is who I am right now, guys.
Yeah.
And this is how that's kind of playing out. This is how I'm moving in it. And sometimes those types of things can be really helpful from a communication standpoint. They can be very private. It doesn't have to be like aspirational. This is who I want to be. This is like who I am. This is how I'm moving now.
Yeah.
And what's healthy for me right now. And I wonder if even just like a communication like that was in a one page. We do papers all the time for school, right? We're driving for some subject we don't even care about. Doing that for you is just a great way to capture some things going on right now that could be helpful. I wrote one the other day. I hadn't written one before. And I just put it on my bedroom closet, and I just threw it up there, and sometimes I look at it and sometimes I don't, but sometimes I had to look at it a few times before I was like, yeah, that's not me. That's like, I don't know, that's Matthew McConaughey, you know, or whatever, like who, you know, that's not me. So maybe even takes some while to sit with it, to just be like, is this true?
Yeah.
But then it can just be just like a great self-awareness, reflection tool, like living on purpose. Yeah. It's also a great communication to others that you care about, that like, hey, I just want you to know where I am and where I'm coming from, and so that it can pull you back a lot of times when you get in these super dynamic places. It can pull you back, pull others toward you in ways where they're like, yeah, thanks for saying, I see you in that. Like it's kind of magnetizing a little bit, and but it might like touch on those three categories of mental health, friendship, family friendship, just caring for other people, and basketball, and so maybe it's 3 paragraphs, and something like that might be a thing that you just play with. I mean, even for your brother too, like, I think if somebody would have said to me a long time ago, dude, I'm fine with where you're at right now, Josh, like, no judgment zone, like, whatever you're doing, like, the way that you're partying and the way that you're using life and moving through life, fine with it. But would you just write it on a piece of paper, like, you declare it to me, like, you tell me how you're moving, who you are, like how you're moving through life right now. Maybe it's even broken up into just emotion, right? Like this is, I don't know, 4 key emotions.
Yeah.
Anger, joy, sadness, peace. Those 4 key emotions, core emotions, whatever you want to call them. I'm just going to write who I am in that right now and how I'm moving through it right now.
Yeah.
And for even your brother to just say, this is what I'm angry at right now. And this is how I'm moving through it. My joy right now. My joy is small.
And I think writing it down is different from just, just someone telling
Just expressing it through your actions, right?
I think actually like taking the time to take out a pen and paper and write it down.
Yeah.
All that stuff, like your keys and like your the emotions. I think that can help someone more than they know.
And it's not to discount it, right? Like it's not to say, yeah, write it down so you can feel guilty. It's not that. Just write it down so you know who you are. Like you're just make a declaration to yourself. You're making these choices and investments. We're all investing in something, and we are all making major sacrifices by what we are investing in.
Yeah.
Everything. You're making sacrifices right now sitting here. You're making sacrifices by being on the court and missing out on some opportunities that you're wondering if, man, I just gotta live a little and just detach from whatever. You're making sacrifice, whatever you do. So why not just be true?
Yeah.
Why not be true? Why not be real? Like, can we agree to be real? Like, just to say, I'm actually going to say it. I'm going to write it down, and it's on my wall. Like, you don't even have to watch my actions. This is how I'm living. And when you do that, maybe some questions come up. Maybe you see it differently. Maybe some light bulb goes off. Maybe you start writing about joy and you write a little bit longer than you thought you would.
You learn stuff about yourself that you didn't know.
Yeah, but people writing about their despair or their darkness or their hope and their light. Can we at least just declare it for now? This is what I'm declaring for now. Great. How can we help you in that?
Yeah.
Well, you can't. You can't help me at all in it. Okay? So, does that mean that you don't want to be here? Like if you lived somewhere else, you'd feel the same? Well, no. I mean, I need a roof over my head. I need some food. Okay. So that's helpful. Does that mean I should stop talking to you? I want to be helpful.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so even declaring that, like, here's where you help me. Well, I don't know, man. Just, you're around. That, what? So if I'm just standing with you, I'm helpful? And if I'm not standing with you, I'm not? Like, come on, man. Tell me, like.
Am I actually helping?
We're family here. Like,
yeah.
Tell me. And sometimes getting this, like that story behind the story or behind the activity for yourself can just be very enlightening. And I just wonder how much time is being lost. We spend a third of our life in bed. We spend probably somewhere around a third of our life connected on devices, whether it's social media or television. So then we have this other third left. What are we doing in that life that's us, that is truly us? And let us tell people, let's tell ourselves, this is what I am. And let us share it with the people we care about. And when it's shared, I think people will see opportunities to help, but then I think it offers up a conversation like, great, man, thanks for saying all this. Like, some stuff I knew, some stuff I didn't know. Here's my next question.
That's how you create a community.
Yeah, how can I help you in that? How can I be a friend to you in that right now? Well, just let me be. Okay, if I let you be, and maybe somebody says that you said that to somebody, like, just let me be, I'm good. Okay, if I let you be as your friend, how am I? I'm your friend, right? Like, we just kind of,
yeah.
Like, and if I am letting you be, can you tell me how that helps you? Like, you putting them to the challenge of, like, you I want to hear. I want clarity. Can we just get some clarity out of this? Because right now we're stirring in this. Can we just get some clarity in this?
I love that. Yeah.
No, I don't want to write that. That's stupid. Okay, well, how about we all write one for each other?
Yeah.
You write mine. I'll write yours. My sister will write my mom's.
Yeah.
If we're not going to write our own, right? Like,
yeah.
well, should we,
Someone else.
write it for somebody else and do it?
And that'll help everyone in the end.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
I mean, you can't.
We're all just trying.
Yeah, you're just trying. You're just trying new stuff. That's all life is.
Yeah.
You're just you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
And all you can do is just do whatever you do to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And if that's talking to someone and they're saying, I just want to deal with this by myself.
Yeah.
I don't need you right now. Then, as a friend, I need to know that you're being honest with me.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then why am I even here?
Yeah. And it's really, we're all set up for failure right now with just the distractions that are out there in this world. We're all set up to fail to see ourselves. All of us. Even when we think we're doing time with ourselves, we're not really. It's like, oh, we're doing time with ourselves, but I'm checking my phone every 5 minutes when it buzzes. Or I'm thinking about somebody else and how I can be helpful to them, or what I'm upset about with them. Like, to get to a place where I'm really in the right space. You mentioned space before. I want to come back to that. But when you're in this space where I can just be with my true self, whatever that is, without distractions, without addiction, without chemical, without devices, without music, it is so hard to meditate on ourselves. So a manifesto is it's a tool, I guess, to force us into that space where we're writing about, when we write about ourselves, it's really hard for other things to come in. Yeah. Or if we're drawing a picture of our life, or stick figures of our life, like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, whatever it is, whatever we are writing down about ourselves, I feel like that's one of the best ways to wall off any other just random distraction thoughts that can just come in from 1,000 different directions.
Yeah.
Or devices or music or weather or noise, whatever it is. When you can just write to yourself, for yourself, I just wonder if that's the best way to be with yourself. And then if you get that, if you get something there that is connecting, then I can take that and I can go maybe close my eyes in bed and really think about that thing that I know was an undistracted thought. Yeah. And then I can bathe it a little bit with thought without distraction. Yeah. But writing is just a really powerful thing when we write about ourselves.
Yes. I totally, yeah. I think that waking up and just writing down what you want to do today, or the night before, and writing down stuff that you want, or even want to do in life.
Yeah.
Or something bugged you today, write it down. And then when you look back on in a week, you're like, well, that really bugged me. I overcame that.
Yeah.
Or I love writing stuff down is a huge thing. I think journaling's great.
Or talking. Right, your brother might be a verbal expressor, verbal processor, so his might be, hey, you don't want to write? A lot of people don't want to write, so just sit in a room with your phone and just video yourself.
Yeah.
Right, literally talk to your camera. Yeah. Here's where I am in life, and here's in 4 different pockets, because that then challenges you to not just stay in anger. You're like, okay, I'll do the anger thing, but I gotta move to the peace thing. I gotta at least sit with that for a minute, and then I've structure kind of pushing me through to these different places where I do joy or delight.
And figuring out like what those mean to
It's
you.
forcing me to be intentional about myself.
Yes. That's great.
So video is a huge tool.
It's like typing it out.
Yeah.
Or talking in the frickin' microphone thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
You said before, you mentioned something about space. You're like, just getting to a space that brings me peace. This was a long time ago, but where is that for you? Like, if you could just go, and you're probably going to say the basketball court, but where would you go in your home? What's the room? What's the vibe? What's the lighting? What's the window situation? What chair are you in? And if it's not your house, maybe you're like, man, that's a tough one. If there's this other place that I go to, it's this park bench that's right by this creek or this lake. Like, where do you go that you know that space is a part of your medicine cabinet?
That's a great question. I think that number one is the shower.
Yeah.
Now, I usually listen to music in the shower.
Yeah.
But the shower, like, when you got the water come on your face, it kind of gives you time to just, like, process, like, what's gone on, what's going to happen through the day, what had happened through the day when you take a shower at night. And I think that gives your brain time to realize what brought you peace that day. And just even thinking about that brings you peace.
Yeah.
I think the basketball court as well, when you're kind of in that zen of just like, when you're kind of in that mode of you're just hooping.
Yeah.
Like, you're just doing your thing out there. And that mode that comes around when you're playing brings me more peace than I could ever ask for. And I would say there's a lot of places that bring me peace. I mean, my bed. Sometimes I'll just lay and just look at the ceiling and just think my own thoughts. And I'll think about good stuff that happened that day, or bad stuff, or stuff that brought me peace, that brought me anger. And I think just thinking about that stuff is so good for you.
Yeah.
It's so good for your mental health and just increasing the peace you have in your life.
Yeah.
So I think the basketball court, that bed, and the shower are just like three kind of. I would say that like the bed, like my bed, and like my shower, kind of places where you kind of just gotta stop.
Yeah.
You stop. You kind of just.
You can remove a lot of distractions in the shower.
You're just there. You're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And you're
the
just
water.
You're just in the present.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just doing that kind of brings clarity to the mind.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of just in the present in peace.
Yeah. Sweet. How do you put your how are you currently like expressing yourself in like outside the basketball court? Like, what are some signature things about you, whether it's your style or whether it's a tattoo or whether it's a chain, jewelry, or whether it's the car you drive, or like, how do you signal and kind of like put off something that ties to your identity without you telling somebody what your identity is? Is there anything like that for you? That
I think the biggest thing is like, I enjoy being different. like, no, like I have a pretty normal outfit on right now, but I don't care what I wear. Like, I'll go to the store wearing pajamas and like a freaking NBA jersey. I don't care.
Yeah.
And people are just like that. That's the most Ben Allen thing I've ever seen in my life. Or it'll be like, I don't care, how I look, Now in most settings, there's areas in life that I experience where you want to be presentable, you want to look good, but there's points in life where there's a lot of stuff that I just don't really, that I enjoy being different.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing stuff that a lot of people don't like to do, or just don't do in general, because it could be too hard, or it's just not for them, or I'll just wear just like flip flops to. I mean, I wouldn't wear flip flops to school, but like I'll just like wear like no sock, like flip flops to like the gym, I just stuff like that, or I'll I'm a huge like Star Wars nerd. Like I'm just like, and I'll just express that.
Yeah.
And just being different is something that like I just kind of naturally am.
Yeah.
And
you've always been that way.
I've always been that way.
Yeah.
And it's not really like hasn't changed my whole life. When I was younger, I would just wear like neon shorts and like a bright orange shirt and like some flip flops to like the store or something. Just like I'll just be wearing whatever. And it's just at a point where when you realize that people actually don't care, that's when you find peace. When people really don't care what you look like, as long as it's not affecting them.
Yeah, or the people that you want to hang out with don't care. Like
Yeah.
the people
They don't care.
that might care, you're like, yeah, I don't connect with you if you care about that. But the people that don't care about you being eccentric or goofy in all those ways, you're like, they really like me.
And all the stuff where people might lack confidence in, where, like for instance, I in front of like the whole school, like on assembly, I for Ben's Betcha, I shot 3-pointer against the fall. Like a lot of people will be like, oh, what if I lose? Without like, at the end of the day, no one cares who wins.
Yeah.
No one cares. No one's gonna look back. They're gonna forget about that in 2 days.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, Ben lost. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like they don't care.
Yeah.
And you just gotta realize in your brain at the end of the day, like, yeah, people, you might walk into a room and you might think people are like, oh, that guy, looks like an idiot or whatever. They're gonna forget about it in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just when you find out that it's really, you can do whatever you want as long as it's not affecting people or yourself.
Yeah, hurting them or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think once you figure that out, you find peace.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing that I think that I have just naturally been born with. And I'm blessed to have that.
Yeah. We've talked about a lot today. What did we not talk about enough that you just want to... You felt some momentum in it. You felt some stirring in it. You felt maybe even some walls in it that you didn't want to go through, or you felt, that you just want to, maybe in one of your 15-minute pockets, like just spend some time with, on your own or with your mom, or what's something that you'd like to process a little bit more?
I think we did a really good job of diving in pretty deep in a lot of the things we're talking about. I just think that maybe some ways to deal with grief, some ways to deal with that stuff, some like little like snippets of stuff that I use to kind of help with that stuff, because I've experienced it. And I think I think I might want to probably dive a little bit deeper into that. And I think that, like, at the end of the day, it's you can get people's help. You know, you can get whoever's help for you. You can talk to your friends, family, or whatever, but it's really only the close ones
Yeah.
that you really only need to talk to, especially with the people that have gone through it.
Yeah.
And you just need to find within yourself what works for you. What do you need to visualize, like in the shower, in the bed, wherever you're kind of just like zen. We were kind of just, the day's over, you're just kind of, nothing's going on. You're like, what helps me the most in dealing with this grief or dealing with whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And that's probably usually different for everyone.
Yeah.
And for me, that was just a big thing of just like realizing at first what will help me the most with this. And I've gone through this with like my brother as well, of just like finding what works well for you and then using that. And like, that might be talking with someone. That might be dealing with it by yourself, or doing stuff that you like, having distractions.
Yeah.
Stuff that brings you peace that might help with your grief.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to dive a little bit deeper on that.
Yeah.
But I think that we really had a great combo through everything we talked about tonight.
I know we talked about some things that you were playing with as like some next steps for Ben Allen's life, and so we talked about maybe you accepting an invite into something that you would usually say no to for achievement, but you're like, you know what, I'm gonna take a gamble here. I'm gonna go to the lake, or I'm gonna go on that camping trip, or I'm gonna go to the fireworks deal, or like just knowing I don't even know what's there for me, but I'm just gonna place a bet here. We talked about that. We talked about just kind of how you manage that, where you help, looking back at the themes of like home stress and where you've been helpful, where you tried to be helpful but it ended up hurting,
Balancing that.
and just reflecting on that a little bit to see if you could find some themes or consistencies that informs you of how to move a little bit, maybe for a day or for a week, try something on. We talked a little bit about that manifesto,
Yeah.
and just you writing to you, or you writing to others, like, hey, this is how I'm moving through life right now. And and then we talked about just trying to find peace in what you already are for your brother, not what you need to be or need the formula for him or whatever, but just what is already there is very powerful, and kind of claiming that. We talked about the time that you might put on the calendar where you dedicate a certain block of time that is undistracted peace time, or maybe that's just writing something down to yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe it's laying on your bed with no noise and just thinking about you and your soul. Maybe it's in the peace pocket, maybe it's in the anger pocket, maybe it's in the joy pocket, but just being able to like say, I'm with you right now, Ben. Like, I'm wholly with you right now. We're not setting goals. We're not talking about what you need to do better. I'm just with you to know you.
Yeah.
for time. So that's a lot. There's 5 or 6 things in there. Is there one of those topics that just like goes, you know what, I want that one to echo a little bit, or I want to do something with that. I don't know what it is, but I want to move forward in that more.
I like moving forward in the areas or places that you can find peace in, like the calendar. Putting forth time to work on adding peace to your life. Doing something that you love doing with your friends or by yourself, or putting forth actual time, whether that's 5 minutes or however long, doesn't matter, where it'll affect you in a great way that you could and that it might be just exploring yourself, or find like I said, like my brother doesn't have like a lot of stuff he likes to do. Like that might be stuff where he finds something that he loves to do. He might set 15 minutes of time to, I'm gonna go play pickleball. Find something that might bring him peace. Or if it's something that you found something that you love doing that brings you peace and happiness, you should do that more often.
Yeah.
Do that more often. And I think a lot of people get caught up in money or family or whatever, that they don't put time for themselves to do stuff like that, to put forth time.
Yeah.
Like, so they can have peace time, basically, or like stuff that they enjoy doing with friends. And I feel like people should do that more.
Yeah. Well, the only thought I have for you there, if that does become an intentional space for you, this peace time, be careful of the achievement, Ben, because I could see you going into peacetime thinking about what achievement you need to do or action, what's something that you can do tomorrow or next week. And that's not a bad place, by the way. But I wonder if your peacetime might need to be more reflective. Maybe if it's just maybe it's a simple tracker by your bed, and a 10 out of 10 is actually something written at the top of when you've had experienced true and lasting peace. It might have been a day, it might have been a vacation, it might have been a year, it might have been a moment, but something where you go, that is peace at its most holistic form for me. That moment, what I felt there, I might not even know what was there, but that moment I felt it. And so you can just have this like something there that's like reminding you of this whole piece that you felt. Maybe it's a one word.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a paragraph.
Just reflecting.
But just something that's there so that when you go to bed at night, maybe it's just that you record where you're at 1 to 10. You're just like, today I was a 7 and I go to bed. Tomorrow I'm a 5 and I go to bed. The next day I'm a 9 and I go to bed. Maybe it's something like that, just to watch your peace bounce a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a reflection so that's just an idea, one idea of 1,000. Maybe it's going into ChatGPT and saying, I'm 17 years old. I want to work on finding more peace in my life, but I want to reflect first. What are some questions I could ask myself at the end of a day or at the beginning of a day? I don't know. and give me 3 questions that would be really good soul-searching questions. And it gives you 3 questions. Maybe those are your tool. Maybe it's very specific. Where am I not feeling peace right now? With a person, a place, or a thing. And I just write down where I'm not having peace. And I'm not in achievement yet.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything about it yet. I'm going to write that down for 10 days. 10-day challenge, right? I'm going to just write down that person, place, or thing that I did not have good peace there. I did not have enough peace there. And then after you kind of gather that reflection time, then maybe go, you know what, when I get there, then I'm going to get to the formula bin, the achievement bin, the goal-driven bin, the solution bin. Because sometimes achievement people, the drug is just like, oh, I'm going to set the next achievement, I'm going to do the next thing, I'm going to go, right? I'm going to go do. And I'm really operating out of a place where I haven't observed it enough to even really know, is this connecting together? So, achievement's not bad. It's balance. But reflection on Ben in that pocket first, or at the same time, I think it might bring you something. Maybe not.
No, I
Maybe not.
think it will. Yeah, reflecting first before I do the achievements. It's probably the best way to go at it for me personally. But it's different for everyone.
I mean, you see it work with a lot of things in life that you love. Like, so with basketball, your coach, I bet that there is reflection on the games that you played before. I bet when he goes to a end of year banquet, he does a lot of reflection. I bet when he is thinking about the season ahead, he's doing a lot of reflection. And then out of that, he's pulling plans and action and accountability and all of that.
Yes.
And if we just live on that side of the circle, our plans, action, and accountability are uninformed. And so I just want to make sure that it's just really informed for as much as you're comfortable with. Just reflection, observation, discussion, reflection, observation, discussion, where it's like, okay, I know what the plan is now, because there's something here. Just like with your family, when you go in and you go into the stress, right? It could be action, Ben. All right, this is what I think we need to do. I think this is what we need to think about. This is what we need to talk. And it's just like, well, maybe there's just some reflection, Ben. What's been happening? What's been good? What's not been good? Where is my system getting overwhelmed and it's not helping, it's hurting? And so I can gather that to make my plan.
Yeah. I agree.
Cool. Thanks for the time.
Thank you for the time.
Yeah.
This is great.